Let's hear now from the CTO of Biotique, Mr. Randheer Singh, about how Biotique has successfully implemented cloud technology for great success. Welcome, Mr. Singh, and I request Amit Kumar, partner KPMG, to kindly moderate this session. So over to you.
Hi, Randheer. Thank you so much for your time today for this interview with the Economic Times Cloud Innovation Summit. Glad you could join us.
Thanks.
Great. To get started with the introduction, Randheer, if you could talk about Biotique and a brief about yourself as well, that'll get our viewers to start.
So Biotique is a known brand of beauty products, Ayurveda products. So they are a brick and mortar company. So they have been using softwares from vendors, and they started a technology division, which was supposed to be an incubator kind of thing, and plus it has to be an in-house technical division. So I joined in 2018. So we were supposed to build few products ranging from social games to distributor management softwares. So I built the division from scratch from last 3 years, and I have driven its recruitment as a strategy, cloud going strategy, network strategy, etc. So that's where it is. So we have built around 2 products, and one is online in social game, and we are in the process of designing few more products. That's where it is.
Great. Thank you so much for the introduction. This is Amit, your host today. I'm one of the partners with KPMG Lighthouse team, which is the advisory cloud data platform AI/ML department within KPMG. So glad you could join us. Just to get started, Mr. Randheer, if you could talk about your journey on moving strategically to the cloud platforms at Biotique, and how did the journey start?
So Biotique has a basic network team in-house. I joined in the head office. So they used to take care of basic day-to-day IT operations. But when we start building commercial products, the skill of network team required was much higher. So instead of recruiting and building the whole team in-house, we kept it lean and mean. And there are now network service providers, where the skill set required is more on Linux side and the networking side, and they're more close to developers than to the network IT support guy. So there are firms which provide expertise on AWS. We partner with them with a minimum monthly retention amount, and they did the network setting for us. So we have chosen AWS as our partner because we don't want to take risk, and it was the most proven one and the most popular one. So we started with EC2 servers for our production launches. Then we slowly moved our DNS hosting to Route 53, then security, then VPN, everything. We were using discrete products. We moved all of them to AWS. First, we used it as an infrastructure as service, and then we moved to software as service, where you use AWS SES. We were using other email providers, then AWS SQS to make synchronous requests, sync, then AWS Inspector to find the vulnerabilities in system and then fix it, AWS WAF to fix those things in firewall, and so on. And now on, we are slowly planning to use AWS for analytics also, where we will use AWS Redshift, QuickSight, and Glue for ETL operations. And so we are trying to stick to AWS as much as possible for both infrastructure as service and for this thing, software as service.
Yeah, it's great to know that your journey started with AWS, and then slowly and steadily you built up the whole, the whole stack on AWS, including the infrastructure as a service and some of the SaaS products as well. And from the network to compute to various other firewall, VPN, and other services, and now to the analytics services. and all from the same provider, that allows you to also limit your number of vendors that you need to work with. So that's a very very amazing journey that you've had, Mr. Randheer. If I could ask about what have been some of the factors that you decided to consider moving to AWS? Is it because of the reliability or their credibility in the marketplace? So what were some of the factors that led you to choose AWS?
Okay, so before that, I'd like to add, like what I have told was on the software application side. For database, we have chosen MongoDB. We are using we have chosen Atlas, which is a hosted solution provider for MongoDB. It automatically scales and downgrades for your server based on the traffic. So we have very good experience with Atlas also. And we were doing our own MySQL hosting, which we also moved to AWS RDS, because we only have to hire a DBA to fine tune the OS parameters and performance parameters for as a DBA. So my AWS RDS were automatically fine tunes it. So we used AWS RDS for MySQL, and we were thinking of using AWS DynamoDB in place of MongoDB, but that is still in R&D phase. So now coming to why did we choose to AWS? Personally, I came from a background from a company, my first company, which grew parallel to Amazon. So whatever AWS provides, we used to do in-house. Everything, writing script, customizing, building servers, and all those things. My Amazon launched it as a separate business. So I know the amount of effort goes and how big your DBA and your network team grows. Now, Amazon, assume that the kind of brick and mortar company which I come, where I move, if I tell my founder, I directly work with the owner of the company. So the director of the company is the son of the founder. So now if I tell him that I'll need to build up a team of 3 DBAs, 2 network guys, so they won't just believe it. So AWS cuts down that cycle, so they can see a lean and mean team. That is the first requirement. Second is requirement is, of course, I mean, like if we have so many servers in house. So even, for example, initially since this division was started from scratch, we brought few servers, but then again, the in-house skill set to manage those servers was not there. So we have to partner with an external service provider who has a expertise on managing AWS servers. So in that case, we thought, like if I have so many servers in house, like a hybrid cloud, like if I have some servers here, some servers there, like development and stress testing servers here and production servers there, I'll end up recruiting people. And again, it is difficult to justify that in a brick and mortar company, which has not a very big budget for maybe the technical division. So that's why we moved to cloud, because it saves our recruitment, our cost, our time, and only when peak times we used to do it. So we have moved our stress testing and stress testing also on AWS beside production. So why we have chosen AWS? Again, as I have told in the beginning, it is the most known and popular. AWS provides very good service in India by their own team. They appoint an account manager for you, and there are software and IT firms which have built expertise in AWS, and they provide very good service on it. Google and Azure still haven't done that. So that's why AWS is a natural choice. And also for programming languages such as Node.js, Java, etc., AWS is more comfortable. Suppose if I build something in .NET, probably, though even AWS can host that, probably Azure will be my first choice. But
understand. Many people, Mr. Randheer, they think, and this is just a feeling, many people think cloud may not be as secure as on-premises. What do you say to those people who are still skeptical about moving to cloud?
No, I mean, like cloud can be secured because you can totally put a gate there. Because suppose, example, we have put a VPN. Without VPN, you cannot go to our cloud server. So we used AWS VPN service. only few people can go. That will be tracked. Then we used AWS Inspector to find out all vulnerabilities. Then AWS WAF to put those rules to fix those vulnerabilities. Those things cannot be done in house team. Something will be left down, because something like AWS Inspector is a proven one. It can find out all vulnerabilities, and it can list and you can see those records. Then we use monitoring tools like AWS monitoring tools we use, where we used to get alerts on things. So security is much more on cloud than I can secure in-house, both process, people, and level. Because on local server, anybody can log in, sit on a place of somebody and log in there. Cloud, unless somebody shares that VPN password, which is there to with only one or two people, it won't be accessible. So
Understood.
And as software level, both the cloud is more secure.
Understood. And you've come a long way, Mr. Randheer, when it comes to cloud adoption. Could you also talk about some of your plans for future, as to how do you plan to expand the usage of cloud services going forward as well?
So we want to use AWS SPS heavily for making our process more asynchronous. Lot of queries. Also, as I told in the beginning, we are just in the process of using AWS Kinesis for streaming, and alert for analytics, AWS Redshift, QuickSight, and Glue. And also, as we move more toward machine learning, probably we'll try AWS SageMaker.
Makes complete sense. And one quick question there, you work with so much of customer data, payment information, orders, invoices, and everything else, Mr. Randheer, how do you secure that data rather than saying, we secure network, we secure application? How do you secure data primarily?
So Atlas, we use to store database. Atlas production level access, two-level access, and only a few people have the access. And nobody can take the dump of database on DB. On application side, admin report, nobody can, each report has access level, and nobody can download, only few people. So it has to be secured both at application and infra level and at cloud level. So people, process, application, and all those need to be controlled.
Agreed. And do you, in your experience, Mr. Randheer, have you seen cloud deliver the kind of agility and the outcomes that your business wants today?
Yes. As I told, the team size of DBAs and network is not there in the house, and also the dynamic billing, like some day they are paying a higher AWS amount, and on some day it is lower. So it gives some comfort to our company owners, because they know that we are paying only when it is needed. Otherwise, if I have all those infra at house, so that is a capital expenditure for them, which is not coverable.
Yes, Mr. Randheer. So last question from that side, Mr. Randheer. As you see, many of the organizations are now moving to cloud for their applications, for their infrastructure, for compute and everything else. How do you see the talent side? Because everybody is looking to hire. So how do you manage talent within the organization for these niche cloud DevOps and other resources?
So as I told earlier, see, the best approach, unless you grow to a very big company, or you are a technical company with e-commerce company like Flipkart, etc., which can maintain a team of 200 plus developers. There is no need to hire, because we are a technical division of a brick and mortar company like Biotique. So we what we do is, nowadays there is a team business. So what business has been developed, where what we used to have everyone in house, like we need to have a team of DBAs, we need to have a team of guys who are good on Linux, who are good on shell scripting, etc. So right now they have launched their own companies. So you'll have a company of say 5-10 guys who are good only in DBA skills. and they are able to manage MySQL, AWS RDS, MongoDB, etc. Then there are guys who are able to, there is a team of 5-10 guys who are able to do manage network infrastructure only. So we try to find out those companies, and not even in Biotique, in any company. Last 4 years, we haven't recruited a network guy or a this thing or a DBA in house, because I mean, like first of all, it is difficult to get those skills, and then those resources are costly also, as costly as developers, sometimes even more. Okay, and then suppose if you are running on a very tight productivity, like your productivity is monitored very strictly by your org, you cannot justify their 24/7 like a whole occupancy also, because they will be so we find out those kind of firms which provide services, and it has worked very well for us. And it is very less amount. I mean, I will tell you, as less amount as 50,000 to 1 lakh rupees per month. And if I have to hire that guy, I have to pay 1.5 lakh rupees per month. Two guys, I mean, like 3 lakhs.
So in fact, cloud is helping you to reduce cost.
Multiple companies. And I have a span of say 20, 25 DevOps developer working for me. Because if I give a problem, I make them work. That is where our team skill comes. We make them work as extended team. And of course, I mean, there are challenges here. You need to have very good coordination, payments, times, etc. A lot of people, process, and culture issues. But once you do it properly, you will have a span of 20-25 DevOps team member working for you at a very low price. That's what we have done. I have done it at Biotique, I have done it at Jungli, and all kind of Jungli games and all kind of companies I have worked.
Great. So you are able to save a lot of cost and in the process, and then also have agility for the business. So great. I think a lot of good insights from your side, Mr. Randheer. Great talking to you, and thank you so much for your time today.
Well, thank you, Mr. Singh, for that insightful and informative talk. And thank you so much, Mr. Kumar. Ladies and gentlemen, coming up is our final success story. Don't miss this one. Stay with us.